Hey guys, I got another OU battle against Finn again. This battle was actually, I feel, was still, the end was pretty much the same, but it was still good enough for me to want to narrate. Hopefully, I'll get some battles against some other people, but for now, I'm going to narrate this one. Looking at his team, really the biggest threats on his team would be his Alakazam if it's Focus Sashed, his Scissor if it's Banded, and his Sableye because nothing on my team wants to take a burn aside from maybe my Gengar and maybe my Greninja, but either way, they don't like residual damage since my Gengar is sashed and my Greninja has a Life Orb, so they'd be going down pretty fast. So I'm going to start the battle. Like our last match, we both lead off with our same leads. I lead off with my Scarf Diggersby and him with his Sableye. For some reason, I felt like he wouldn't lead off with it, but he does, knowing that it pretty much is a major annoyance to my entire team. I switch into my Talonflame, again predicting the Will-O-Wisp. There really wasn't anything he could do, so I wouldn't really judge him on you still going for the Will-O-Wisp. So I absorb the Will-O-Wisp, and I go for the Acrobatics this turn because I know that his Greninja is most likely still sashed. So I wanted to two-hit KO it with the Acrobatics, but he actually sends in his Talonflame, and he actually wins the speed tie, and he OHKOs me with the Brave Bird. So I'm guessing that he is banded because I'm fairly certain the Brave Bird wouldn't take me out because Acrobatics only does that much to a Talonflame. Luckily, the recoil from Brave Bird takes him out too because I really didn't have anything for his Talonflame. He sends in his Sableye. I predict that and go into my Greninja on the double down because I know that it's really the only thing that wants to take a burn on my team. So I go for the Ice Beam, and as he misses the Will-O-Wisp, and I do a really nice 65-60% to him, which just shows you how good it is. I mean, that's not it's stab now, but I mean, if it wasn't stab, I'm pretty sure Greninja without protein wouldn't be nearly as good as a normal Greninja, is what I'm trying to say. He switches out into his Scissor, wanting to take the Ice Beam very well, but he doesn't. He takes like 35% from it. And I'm going to switch into my Garchomp this next turn because I know that after Protein, I'm an Ice type and I will easily die to a Bullet Punch, Choice Banded, or Mega. It actually ends up being a Mega Bullet Punch, or a Mega Scissor going for a Bullet Punch. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. Anyways, since Mega Scissor is actually a lot weaker than standard Choice Band Scissor, I actually take that really easily. So I can take one more of those and then I'll get knocked out. But I'm actually not necessarily a mix set, but I do carry Flamethrower for stuff like Scissor and Ferrothorn and Skarmory because I know that they wall Garchomp to hell. So I get to take that out, which was not too surprising, but I was glad about it. He sends in his Scarf Diggersby to try and revenge kill me, and I want to save my Garchomp for fodder, so I switch into my Gengar knowing that he can't touch me aside from U-turn, which will do pitiful damage. So he has to switch out, and he is, again, Scarfed, so he can't just U-turn out, and I go for the Sludge Bomb, and I get a really good hit on his Greninja, and I'm fairly certain that his Greninja is timid, so he would outspeed me and most likely kill me with the Dark Pulse, but he actually turns out to have extra sensory, and I go into my Greninja predicting that the Dark Pulse, not the Dark Pulse or the Hydro Pump, and he actually goes for the extra sensory, which I'm still a dark type, so I don't take any damage from that. But he wins the next speed tie, and he kills me with the Grass Knot. So that was lucky. Yeah, wasn't too big of a deal though, because I can just go in and revenge kill him with a U-turn from my Diggersby. And now this is where my Garchomp comes into play. From saving it for fodder, I go into it on the U-turn switch. I'm stuttering quite a bit. Sorry about that. He sends in his Alakazam, which has Dazzling Gleam. So at the time, I'm like, maybe he'll do something weird, and maybe I can just break his sash or something. So, but he doesn't. Makes the normal play, I guess. My Garchomp goes down, and I go into my Diggersby knowing that I can outspeed it, and I go for the Earthquake, thinking I'm pretty sure he's just gonna go for the Psychic, and I'm fairly certain I can take it, but he actually just ends up dying. I'm guessing that he was a Life Orb and not Focus Sashed, so that was a lot easier to deal with than I had anticipated. he sends in his Sableye to go for the Will-O-Wisp, and he burns me. And I was hoping that maybe even with the burn, I could take him down at this range of HP, but he lives with just a little bit, so that sucks. And now he's just gonna recover. And honestly, this is a 33 turn battle, and this is only turn 15, so I'm gonna skip until 23 because that's when things start happening again. And no, that's not a ghost, that's my hand. The only thing that bugs me about skipping with these battles is they pretty much take about as long to load up to the skipped part that you want to get to as just watching it fully through, so it should only take a few more seconds. Yeah, I'm really just waiting for my Diggersby to die from burn. He doesn't really go for any offensive moves like Nightshade or anything, obviously because I'm a normal type. So he just recover stalls me until I die, and now my Diggersby's gonna faint. So yeah, I'm gonna make another misplay, which in the end doesn't really matter. It just kind of prolongs the battle, which kind of just annoyed me at the time. Not too much, but enough to be like, ugh, I just want to end this battle already. So I send in my Gengar, thinking, hey, I can just go for the Shadow Ball and take him out. And for whatever reason, I forgot that he has priority recover, obviously. And he actually easily predicts this. You know, it's not a big play or anything. But he goes into his Diggersby. I'm guessing to break my Sash for whatever reason. Nightshade wouldn't really care about that since it stays at 50 damage consistently. But he goes for the U-turn anyways. Maybe he thought he could wear me down with U-turns a bunch, but he just goes back into Sableye because those are his last two Pokemon. As I go for the Sludge Bomb, and he hardly lives that, so sadly I don't get the poison. Actually, I think even if I got it, he still would have lived, but that still would have helped. Anyways, I go for the Shadow Ball as he goes for the recover, and now it's just kind of, I'm back to grinding on him. Oh god, that's grinding down his Sableye. That I've already tried recording this twice, so I'm not gonna cut that out. You guys can get a good laugh out of that. Anyways, I'm gonna switch into my Breloom. I'm not sure if he predicted this or if he just thought it was a good time to go for the Will-O-Wisp. Either way, it didn't really matter because I go into my Breloom. I'm gonna Spore him next because he can't do anything if he's asleep, and I'm sure he won't switch into his Diggersby because as he takes that turn to switch, I'm gonna set up Nesty, and most likely I have the Mach Punch obviously because I'm a Breloom, and then I'd probably just take him out with the Mach Punch, so he wouldn't really gain anything from switching into his Diggersby aside from maybe playing a few mind games and switching back and forth, so Sableye could take the Mach Punch or be immune to the Mach Punch, I should say, and then yeah. But in the end, I could just go for Bullet Seeds. That I go for the Swords Dance just to get back up to neutral. Yeah, as he's still asleep. He's just gonna be sleeping. As I go for another Swords Dance after this Leftovers recovery and burn damage. Quite a bit of residual damage going on, but it's almost over. Go for another Swords Dance. I'm guessing that right now, I'm not sure how the burn mechanics work exactly. I'm guessing it cuts it in half. Then after I get up to neutral, after I go for the second Swords Dance, I only go up to 1.5 maybe. I'm not certain, but either way, it's enough for me to go for the Bullet Seed and do huge damage. The reason I say huge damage and not just take him out is because I get the minimum amount of hits, and I get 2. So it doesn't affect the outcome much aside from my Breloom taking more damage than it really should have, I guess. So now it doesn't really matter if he switches or not, because whatever he does, he's gonna die to the next Bullet Seed. So he knows this. He doesn't bother to go for the recover, and he just lets his Sableye die. And as he sends in his Diggersby, I actually run Quick Attack on my Scarfed Diggersby, as silly as it may sound, for situations like this, because I know that, I'll obviously outspeed a Breloom, and he doesn't have it, so I get a Mach Punch him, and he still would have lost even if he had the Quick Attack, but still, it seems like a decent move to have, if you don't want really any other coverage. I die from Life Orb and Burn, and that's the game. So thanks guys if you watched, because I know this is a pretty long battle. So yeah, that's second upload of tonight. I'm hoping to do like 2 every day maybe. Um, Might even get another one today. So if you guys are watching, awesome. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.